Here the idea is to create a first fresh slave site, and here in our case we will use slave1.demo.jms2win.com. So we don't have a rule yet that corresponds to a subdomain like that, so we will create a new rule more or less like the current one, because domain name that we use as a demo inside the environment. So we will create here a demo subdom. Okay. The particularity in this rule is that in fact the deployed directory is not exactly this one. We have to modify this rule to add the parameter number 4, because we have a site ID that is more complex than the site ID 3 parameter there, but we have here demo that will be there, and after that we will have here slave 1 that will be present. And public here it's like that. So this is the rule that we will create. For the other part directly, all the parameters are correct, so perhaps we don't need these parameters, but it's a very common rule. So we just change this parameter, we kept this value, and updated the location of the disk that is different. So now that we have defined the role, we can use it to create our specific slave site. So the idea is to create the rule using this domain. So the domain is slave1 something, so it's more or less like here. So the idea is to create a website that is slave1.demo.jms2win.com. As we have created a specific role, we can use our demo subdomain rules that we just have created here. We can review the value computed here, so we have the correct path, and theoretically, as the template rule is defined, we don't have anything else to do. We just have to define the slave. Here it mentions that the directory public here does not exist. That means that we have an error in the path. So public, and do I have the HTML? No, I don't see the parameter. I think that I have public, that I have removed the special character. I thought that was a slash, but it's not okay. HTML. Okay, so now you see that we have the correct path that correspond to the directory on the disk that follow our recommendation for the directory. So we have domains, subdomains, that is a demo, and again subdomain for slave1 and public HTML. So now that we have this subdomain defined, we can go in the website and we receive a Joomla web installer where we can, as usual, create the parameters for the website. So now we just have to fill all the parameters. So here, for example, we'll put something here. Here it is, for example, a name, or we can use directly a slave1. We just change here, but it can be whatever you want because it's a fresh install. Demo 1.3 slave1, for example. Enter the email, admin Now you receive your website, and if you go in the back end, administrator, you should get the access where you can put your demo. And here you can see that you have a specific menu with your own stuff, because the master is contains the Jms Multi Site component that does not need to be installed in the slave side. Jms must be only installed in the master. So now if you return to your master, and go back in Jms, you can see that you have now the parameters that you have created in your system that are defined. So you have your first slave site. If you want more sophisticated rules to define the website, here we have created a basic rule that only define a domain and the location of the disk, but with GMS, as you can see with the medium and full edition, you have possibility to specify geolocalization, to define in which country, continent or region or all these kind of things that you want for your website. And if you want to create a special website for a mobile phone or things like that, we have defined here a list of different user agents, but you can also enter a specific pattern for the language so that you can create website for a specific location. So these parameters are additional parameters that you can use to redirect, for example, a user to a specific one. Something that can be also helpful is to use a redirect to first domain. So if you put here, for example, something that will be, it's just a sample, I will not say it, but here something that is working for .fr and that you create a browser here that accepts something like FR star, for example, you can say, okay, any people that will access the website even on the .com, but using a browser in French, will be automatically redirected to the first in the list. So if you are already on the good domain, it's okay. If not, you can say redirected there. You can do that also for countries in case where you want to have a website for different countries or different states or cities. So create website, fresh or copy, is just like that. So you do here the replication using the web installer. If you create a website that duplicates an existing website, you can do the same and change the rule. Thank you for your attention.